One moment, please, Town Board. Okay, Mr. Supervisor, we are live and we are being recorded.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first in-person meeting of the East Hampton Town Board since the pandemic started back in March of 2020. This is July 1st. So welcome to all of you who are attending in person today. We're very happy to be back. At this point, Carol, please read the roll call.
Clerk Gonzalez. Present. Councilman Lees.
Present.
Councilwoman Overby. Here. Councilman Bradman, I just got notice of the continuing. Supervisor Van Squire.
Present. Please join me in saying the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And that sounds
We're in sync.
Today we have two public hearings, actually three public hearings, followed by a public portion where members of the public may address the board on any topic. Yes, you can keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, and then we'll have resolutions to offer. Carol, if you please read the first public hearing.
Excuse me, Mr. Supervisor. We have Hugh King in the waiting room. You want me to let him in first?
Hugh is zooming in. Welcome,
Just one
Hugh.
moment, please. He is not at his chair at the moment, but he is there.
We'll see which
Hugh
hat.
King, if you can hear us, Hugh King, you're live on television.
Not everybody's in person today. We're going to try and link up with Hugh King, who's the town crier, and he's also the town historian. And depending on which hat he wears, if it's a top hat, it will be our crier, and if he's wearing his Indiana Jones hat, then it's town historian. Can you hear us, Hugh?
Mr. Supervisor, he's not at his seat. If you'd like to continue, I will advise you when he's back. I don't know if you want to wait.
Let's continue with the meeting, and we'll go back to Hugh if and when he comes back on. So, Carol, will you please read the public hearing notice?
Notice is hereby given that by the order of the town board of the town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing in the East Hampton Town Hall meeting room on 59 East Hampton on July 1st at 2 p.m. or as soon after this matter may be heard to consider an increase in the cost of improvements to a private road pursuant to the authority of Section 200 of the Town Law of the State of New York for purposes of improving to town standards a road known as Pheasant Woods Lane. Said roadway is proposed to be improved by trimming of vegetation, paving, drainage, and shoulder repairs improvement, and bringing cast iron covers to grade in order to bring the roadway into compliance with town highway specifications. The total revised anticipated cost of the improvements are $150,000, increase from the prior estimate of $45,900. The cost will be financed by the issuance of serial bonds. Said roadway is proposed to be improved pursuant to the request of more than 50% of the road frontage proposed to be improved. A map of the road setting forth the lines and grades thereof in accordance with Section 204 of the town law has been reviewed by the town engineer and deemed acceptable, and a copy of the same has been on file with and available for inspection in the office of the town clerk.
Thank you, Carol. Is there anyone here to address the board on this matter?
Motion to close. Second.
All in favor? Aye. We will keep it open for written comments only.
Excuse me, Mr. Supervisor, just to let you know, there is a caller on the hold.
Okay, we can go to that caller.
Thank you. Just a moment. There's a caller with the last 4 digits of their phone, 9397. I'll unmute that caller now.
Yes, hi. This is Kathleen Brunn. I'm calling about the Acrobonic road situation with the trestle.
Okay, so we'll take your comments during the public portion. Right now, we're just completing a hearing. If you stay on the line, please, we'll get back to you.
No problem. I'm not sure why I was unmuted, but thank you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, go ahead.
A motion again to close, and that would be for 1 week written comments only. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed and carried. Carol, please, do we have feedback on the line yet? Jason?
We did, Mr. Supervisor, but he has left. Hugh King, if you can hear us, we're looking for you.
Okay. Let's go on to the next hearing notice.
Sure.
Pursuant to section 247 of the general municipal law, chapter 16 of the town code of the town board of the town of East Hampton will hold a public hearing on Thursday, July 1st, 2 p.m. or as soon thereafter. This matter may be heard to hear comments of all persons wishing to be heard concerning the following grant of scenic and conservation easements in the town of East Hampton. Grantor is Cordelia Lupick. It's a scenic and conservation easement dated April 18th and 21 Bianco Road, East Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map 35615, reviewing agencies and CJ.
Anyone here to speak on this public hearing?
It's really hard to hear because
This is the grant of scenic easement for living.
At 21 Bianco Road, East Hampton, for scenic and conservation easement.
No
Anyone?
comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to close with written comments being accepted for 1 week.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Carol, if you'd please read the last hearing notice and try to point that mic a little closer so people can hear you.
Notice hereby given that the town board will hold a public hearing on July 1st at 2 p.m. or soon thereafter. This matter may be heard to consider any and all comments with regard to a local law entitled "A Local Law Providing for the Amendment of Chapter 240 Vehicles and Traffic, Section 24060, Schedule 10, Commercial Vehicles over certain weights, lengths, and/or passenger capabilities excluded of the East Hampton Town Code to authorize the prohibition of commercial vehicles weighing over 9 tons along certain portions of Accabonac Road, an abstract of which follows a local law providing for the amendment of Chapter 240 Vehicles and Traffic, Section 24060, Schedule 10, Commercial Vehicles over certain weights, lengths, and/or passenger capacities excluded of the East Hampton Town Code to prohibit commercial vehicles weighing over 9 tons along certain portions of Accabonac Road from Collins Avenue to Floyd Street.
Thank you, Carol. We have anyone here to speak on this? Yes, Lena, come to the podium, please. State your name for the record. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Lena Tabori. I live at 49 Accabonac, which is 4 houses past Collins towards Floyd. For years, there have been incidents at the overpass where trucks too high to travel under the Accabonac train trestle have become stuck there. All the children in the neighborhood used to run out and watch the hapless, and I would say foolish, drivers take air out of their tires in an attempt to get unstuck. This happened at least a couple of times each summer as these drivers ignored the signs warning them about the height. A year and a half ago, the MTA finally decided to resolve the problem by raising the trestles over both Accabonac and North Main Street. They did this at their own expense. I want to be clear about that. Although LVIS stepped in, I understand, to plant the Leland spruces, which now beautify the view along Oak Mill Road. We're grateful for this. And by the way, the bioswale recently planted, fantastic. But I know those are village issues. As is sometimes the case, however, in order to solve one problem, another one is created. And in this case, the raised trestle provided access to more than trucks that were too high. It also allowed access to massively larger and heavier trucks who previously had remained on Route 27 as they traveled east or returned west. The consequences for the residential neighborhood of Accabonac between Collins and Floyd has not been good. The noise, this is always what everybody focuses on, as these huge rigs ratchet down their gears at the stop signs on Accabonac and Collins. Thank you, by the way, to the town for putting up those stop signs. That has been a brilliant addition to that corner. And then they rev up again as they barrel onward after the stop. It's an astonishing quantity of noise. The additional air pollution that they create on the street, where almost all the houses were built close to either the street on one side or the sidewalk on the other, is, for me, always the more significant issue. And there is the danger that their size poses to bicyclists, joggers, skateboarders. And we have a neighbor who's on the street in a wheelchair on his way to the IGA a couple times a week. It just, the danger preceding the raising of the trestle existed, of course, as well. But the size of these trucks has accelerated the problem. Think if it was your child on a bicycle. I walked across the street this morning trying to do it without being hit by somebody coming or going, and it's 27 feet. I mean, that's hardly enough for a bicycle on each side of the road to make their way across. So I recognize that times change, and I would have to say that when I bought my house 50 years ago, I didn't have a fence. My dogs roamed freely going around the corner to the IGA where they would pick up some meat when, it was past due. They'd come home wagging their tail with a leg of lamb in their mouth. I know those days are long gone, and we're now fenced, of course. But huge rumbling trucks as if you're on a highway, that needs to be a thing of the past. We need a weight limit of 9 tons if our quality of life is not going to be further degraded, not to mention endangered. And we probably need to do something about the speed. I don't know, 30 miles an hour is what's posted. But that bears no resemblance to what I know is happening. I try to leave my driveway, and the traffic is either backed up way past my driveway, so it's hard to get out. Although there is always a cavalier soul who eventually lets me out, I must say. Or it's racing before it breaks to a stop. So that's another point. Anyway, with all hope that we can fix this problem, I thank you all so much. And David, certainly for taking this on.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board? David? Welcome back, David. It's been a long haul.
Thank you, and I'm glad that we are back. And it has been a very long time. Who would have thought in March of last year that we would be out this long? Some people predicted it, but no one thought it was for real. I would like to make a few remarks. I don't live on Accabonac Road, so I'm not directly affected. I'm just only one of 20 some odd residents of the town. But I'd like you to pause and to proceed on this extremely cautiously and not just be, and I say this with all due respect to the affected people on Accabonac Road, not act as politicians pandering to the public with a quick fix that A, I don't believe is actually going to change much, or B, will only shift the problem elsewhere. Everyone wants a quiet street. Everyone wants no trucks on their driveway, on their roads. Everyone wants no cars parked from other people in front of their property. No one wants, if you have a beach access, no one wants beachgoers to be parking in your neighborhood. No one wants things, but unfortunately, in this society, in this age, we all have to tolerate a certain amount of inconvenience and congestion. The fact that this proposed change, first of all, it would only affect vehicles that are greater than 18,000 pounds, 9 tons. By the way, the legislation speaks in terms of weight. I would respectfully suggest that you should be looking at instead the appropriate measurement, which is gross vehicle weight rating, which is the rating that every commercial vehicle has and is independent of how much it's loaded or not, and would eliminate the need for your police to have a commercial truck scale in order to determine the weight of the vehicle. The fact that this section of the town traffic code has no other roadways limited in terms of truck traffic other than the access to the beach at Indian Wells, which is designed to prevent vehicles with more than 8 passengers. This is a section of the code that is not used anywhere else in the town. Is this request by one particular section of the town going to engender similar requests for many other sections of town that live on town highways that are concerned about traffic, such as Cedar Street and other parts of Accabonac, for example? Now, I've never really understood what traffic is the source of the problem. The lady that just spoke of east-west traffic. I guess from what I heard at a previous meeting, people who live on Town Lane also are complaining, so they're apparently there is an east-west flow on Town Lane onto Accabonac to avoid Route 27. And if that's what's going on, I'm not really sure that this is going to affect it, because I just don't see vehicles that are greater than 9 tons traversing those local roads. What most people don't realize is that most of the box trucks that couldn't get underneath the prior trestle are not 18,000 pounds.
I agree. I did not.
Please, please, please.
And therefore, the actual impact on the traffic is perhaps less than what some people would expect that it would be. The same reason that we all have to share the environment, we all have to share our resources, we all have to suffer a little pain in terms of congestion, whether it be questions of deer fencing or roadway speedways. I mean, a speed limit of 30 miles an hour, if enforced, would be very effective in making the area safer. But I don't think that this is the way for the town to deal with trucks. And of course, this restriction would permit any truck of any size to make local deliveries on Accabonac Road. I also have to question whether or not you have cited the right provision of state law to authorize this. The recitation in section 3 of the ordinance that created this hearing speaks in terms of a state law, section 1660 of Vehicle and Traffic Law. It allows the town to regulate vehicles with a gross weight. And by the way, gross weight is a better term than simply weight, of more than 4 tons from any portion of any highway pursuant to that section. However, Mr. Lees, if you read the entire section, you'd see that that was only allows temporary restrictions based on conditions where the town determines allowing greater vehicles of a greater gross weight might materially injure the highway. Well, that's really not what's going on here. This is about pure traffic control, regulation, minimizing of noise and dangers for pedestrians and residents of the area. That's not the right section to be using as a basis for this proposed legislation. So what I really would like to say is there might be a need for restrictions, but I think we should have heard from the town highway department and the police department, and maybe even have a survey of what trucks are using Accabonac Road, what trucks would be precluded, where are they going, why are they on Accabonac Road, and also you have to think about what's going to happen if this is implemented. If I'm driving a truck that's 18,000 pounds and I'm headed west along Town Lane, and I come to this new prohibition, I'm going to have to go onto Floyd Street. I'm going to have to go up Spinner. I'm going to have to go down Springs Fireplace Road. That just, again, transfers the problem to someone else's roadway and someone else's residences.
Thank you, David.
And I really think that you have to study this with a lot more care in terms of what's the problem and how is it best resolved. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the board?
Motion to close?
Second.
With the provision of
Did
written
we have a
comment.
phone call?
Yes.
To discuss it.
We did, we had a phone call.
Michael, do we still have the caller on the line?
That previous caller is still available. Yes, I can unmute that caller.
Let's go to the caller.
Okay, the caller's phone ends in 9397. I'll unmute now.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Kathleen Brunn. I reside at 69 Accabonac Road, and how are you?
Well, before you get started,
Thank you for having me.
I just want to make you aware of the fact that if you want your comments to be part of the record, you will need to submit them in writing via email or letter to the town clerk.
Okay.
Within 1 week's
Carol,
time.
right?
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
no problem. I can do that. Thank you.
Please continue.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, Mr. Van Scoyac and the entire town board. Thank you for everything you do for our community. And I want to say extra thank you to David Lee for addressing this situation expeditiously. My husband and I live on Accabonac Road, as I mentioned, at 69 Accabonac, and we've owned since the late, it's been in the family since the late 70s. And over the years, we realized that the neighborhood has drastically changed, and we accept that. However, due to the raising of the railroad trestle, the increase in size of vehicles is a big concern for local residents, and I'd like to speak to that. Mostly this clear safety issue is that the road itself was not designed to handle such heavyweight vehicles, and it's definitely going to prematurely deteriorate. In front of my house at 69 Acabonic and along the road for a good portion, there's no shoulder. We've witnessed regular passenger vehicles losing control and flipping in front of our house, and we are concerned if there's a mechanical issue and a car breaks down, there's nowhere to pull over. We understand that trucks need to make local deliveries, and we support that, of course, but our concern is the gross tonnage, as David mentioned, the huge Mack trucks that come barreling down the road after the stop sign. They're speeding as they make way after the stop sign, and we feel that pedestrians and people risk their lives just walking down the road. We already had a dog killed on the road, unfortunately. We feel like we can't pull out of our driveway safely at times because of these large trucks. We were requesting, if possible, to make some kind of, study, as David said, to see what kind of trucks are and what their purpose for coming down here is. Maybe survey the highway department. We have major arteries that trucks can go down already, large, over 18,000-pound trucks, such as 3 Mile Harbor Road and Springs Fireplace. Those roads were designed for heavy traffic with proper shoulders. And the neighborhood on Acabonic Road was clearly designed as a residential neighborhood, and we expect vehicle traffic, but it's not a commercial thoroughfare. And after the raising of the trestle, we've noticed a huge increase in the size of the trucks. My children used to play outside in front of the house and, ride their bicycles, and now I have concerns about them because I don't feel like trucks can slow down fast enough. My students, I know children in town and people who are waiting for the bus stop are frightened when there's 18-wheelers passing by doing 40-plus miles an hour. The vehicles seem to literally pass 10 feet in front of the sidewalk. I'm asking you to consider, please, for all these reasons, setting a weight limit of a 9-ton weight limit if possible, and considering lower the speed limit on Acabonic. A lot of these streets around the village have similar restrictions, and we're wondering if you could possibly take care of this after you do your studies. And we definitely have grave concerns about the safety with these huge trucks. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your attention to this matter and for what you do for our beautiful town.
Thank you very much, Kat, for taking the time to comment. Anyone else? Anyone else wish to? Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Hi, my name is Joanne Wildermuth, and I live on Acabonic Road. And I wanted to address the quality of life on Acabonic Road. We know that East Hampton has changed a lot in the past years, and this is a neighborhood. I have a dog. I have to cross the street to walk the dog because there's no sidewalk on my side. And I can't tell you, really, 3 or 4 times I've almost been hit by cars because they go so fast. I know this isn't addressing that issue, but it's a neighborhood, and the trucks that go by, they don't belong in a neighborhood where somebody is crossing the street to walk their dogs. I mean, it's a neighborhood. I've also witnessed accidents on my street. I was sitting in my bedroom one evening and I heard a huge boom. I looked out the window and a car had crashed into a large tree on the side of the road and turned over. And the person, unbelievably, was not hurt. But I think that the speed of the traffic is definitely not safe. And I just wanted to give you my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to comment? At this point, I'll entertain a motion to close.
Motion to close with your comments to be submitted within 1 week.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All right, passed and carried. That brings us up to the public portion where any member of the public may address the board on any topic. Again, we ask that you try to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Do you have any callers on the line, Michael?
The previous caller that spoke is on hold. If you want me to see if she wants to make any additional comments, that's it.
You could go back and ask if they want to make any additional comments during public comment.
1 second, I'll unmute them now. The phone ends in 9397.
Hello? Yes, thank you. I'm just going to submit my letter, like you said, to Carol, I believe. And I
Yes.
think that will address. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for your time.
Great, thank you, Kat. Joanne, this.
No, okay.
Unless no. All right, at this point, David's raised. I looked at you, David, and you didn't raise your hand right away. I was not to speak. Welcome back.
I'm back. Just a question with information. I know that you have introduced, or you're going to introduce today and adopt a resolution scheduling a hearing for a major CPF acquisition, which would support the primary purpose of the CPF fund, which is to secure and protect agricultural land that's substantial in Amagansett. And you've already had the photo op. So I understand that there is an agreement. It's obviously would have to be a contingent agreement, contingent upon the outcome of the hearing and that the town will be adopted. But if there is a contingent contract, so that's question one, is there? And if there is, I would request it be made available to the public before the hearing so that all the details of this somewhat complicated transaction would be able to be ascertained by the public. There's a lot of moving parts in terms of how the land is going to be treated, when it's going to be acquired, what's going to happen to some additional land that the town's going to acquire. So I just would like to be able to access the contingent contract when it has been executed. So could you just enlighten me as to how this is going to work?
Yeah, I'll defer to council on that question.
Yeah, there is an agreement that's signed by the parties. Obviously, it's contingent on the approval of the hearing. I'm sorry. There is a contract that's been executed between the parties that's contingent upon the approval of the hearing.
Right. So I have requested a copy of that already. Once I saw the press release, so I appreciate that it be made available to me and to any other member of the public that is interested in what is obviously an important and significant CPF acquisition.
Thank you, Dave. It is certainly a significant acquisition. It's the largest single farmland acquisition that the town's ever undertaken. We're very happy about this. Hope to move forward. Any other public comments? It's time. We'll move on to resolutions.
Great.
Do you have resolutions to offer?
I do, starting with resolution 2021-773. It's approval of the warrant. Claims total $1,998,395.90. And the utility warrant totals $30,570.18.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Pass and carry.
774 is to appoint part-time maintenance mechanic 2 Spencer Trotman at an hourly rate of $20.25, effective retroactive June 28, 2021. And this is so we can start off with our residential repair program here.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carry.
775 is to increase hours for full-time employee Alice Sobian in the Human Services Department. And this is with no change in hourly rate of budget account. And she's going to 40 hours per week from 35, effective July 4th.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Pass and carry.
776 is approval of various special event permits. A walk on water surf academy at Ditch Plains, west of the lifeguarded area, Monday through Thursday, July 19th through August 26th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The Massapequa Bike Club tour of the Hamptons, various town roads, Sunday, September 19th, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. MBX Adventure Sports LLC surf lessons on Beach Lane, Mondays through Fridays, June 21st through September 10th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And the Montauk Lighthouse Museum, their benefit concert to repair a house, and that is at the Lighthouse Saturday, August 21st from 5 to 10 p.m.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carry.
777 is the refund of various permits. Sally Crush, $60 for the recycling permit. Christine Clifford Walters, $350 for a non-resident beach family permit. And Brenton Daly, $75 for a recycling permit.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carry.
778 is a budget modification for the clerk's office, removing $50 from advertising to motor vehicle repairs and supply.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's carried.
779 is to increase the cap for the law office of Vince Toomey in PPA matters for 2021. We're increasing it $20,000 for a total of $50,000.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's carried.
I'd like to offer resolution 2021-780 to appoint seasonal lifeguards for July 2021 for James Singh for paid lifeguard, $50 an hour, active July 2nd, 2021, and Stein paid lifeguard, $50, July 2nd, 2021. And Stefatino de Luis paid lifeguard, $15, starting July 26th, 2021.
Second.
Aye.
Aye, that's carried.
Resolution 781, title change for lifeguards, whereas on resolution 2021, 623, 671, and 722, the following employees are appointed to lifeguard positions. Now we want them appointed to different titles, hourly salaries, with no change to the accounts. Alyssa Brabant, $16 an hour, starting June 26, 2021, active. Jane Brierly, Association Lifeguard, $16, June 28, 2021. Caitlin Hatch, Association Lifeguard, $16 an hour, June 28, 2021. Emma Wren, Advanced Ocean Lifeguard, $16 an hour, June 26, 2021. Kylie Parsons, Advanced Ocean Lifeguard, $16 an hour, June 26, 2021. Hunter Penlon, Captain Lifeguard, $18.50, June 28, 2021. And Stein, Ocean Lifeguard, $15.50, June 26, 2021.
Just a quick question, Emma Stein, are there two Emma Steins?
I don't know. There's an Emma Wren.
We have an Emma Stein for main lifeguard, and we've got Emma Stein and ocean lifeguard. The salary is the same, so no, it's not.
It's not the same, it's different. I will actually find out, but there could be, I don't know.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's carried.
I'd like to offer resolution 2021-782. This is a title change from seasonal park attendant to clerk, whereas the reopening of the Martinsville Playhouse, we would like to bring Stacy Holmes into a part-time position of clerk with the Recreation Department, hourly rate of $16.50 an hour, retroactive to June 28th, 2021.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's carried.
Resolution 2021-783 is the adoption of modifications to the Water Protection District maps, where we held a town board hearing on this on May 20th, 2021. And this would be proposed to modify the priority areas included in the Water Protection Districts based on updated groundwater travel time data released to the Suffolk County Watersheds Wastewater Plan. And this came to us through the Water Quality Technical Advisory Committee on March 2nd, 2021.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's carried.
Resolution 784 is for the Morris property to authorize CPF acquisition and amended 2021 M&S plan. The reported owner is the estate of Richard Morris at 16 East Lake Drive, Montauk, tax map 300-20-3-20. Is 5.48 acres. We had the public hearing on June 3rd, as I said. The purchase price is $1.65 million.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's carried.
785 is a notice of bidders for EH 21-029. This is for the Accabonac Harbor Stormwater Abatement Rain Guard installation. The bid is available July 1st, 2021. The bid is due back on July 22nd, 2021. If you have a need for any further information, please email us at purchasing@ehamptony.gov or by calling 631-324-4183 between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday to Friday, except holidays.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed, carried.
I'd like to offer resolution 2021-786. This is a notice of bidders for EH 21-031. This is for the Accabonac Solar Farm Pollinator Meadow bid. The bid is available today, July 1st, 2021. The bid is due back July 29th, 2021. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact us through email at purchasing@ehamptony.gov or by calling 631-324-4183 during office hours. all bidders are strongly urged to attend a pre-bid meeting for EH 21-031 on Wednesday, July 14th, 2021 at 11 a.m. at the site, which will be located at 533 Acabonic Road, East Hampton, New York.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, pass and carry.
787 is a budget modification for beaches, where we're taking money from other equipment in the amount of $1,903, and bringing conference dues in the amount of $1,903.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pass and carry.
788 is authorized employment reimbursement for expenses relating to a drone certification testing requirement and no cost to exceed $133 per person per employee listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carry.
789 is a budget modification for highway. We're taking subcontractor costs from the subcontractor line for $1,000, bring it to the repair line for $1,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carry.
Resolution 2021-790 is to promote Eric Chance to Assistant Town Planning Director. I'm very pleased that he accepted this position. Eric Chance is hereby promoted to the full-time position of Assistant Town Planning Director with the Planning Department at an annual salary of $92,000, grade 34 off step, for a 40-hour work week payable biweekly from budget account B8021-51100 upon proper submission of time records to take effect retroactively to June 30th. Resolved that the probationary period for this appointment is 12 weeks, and congratulations to Eric Chance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carry.
Resolution 791 is to accept security and undertaking for Urban Renewal Partial 35 and N-5. The applicant is Margaret Jockel. And the security is $9,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Pass and carry.
Resolution 2021-792 is to accept security and undertaking for Urban Renewal Parcel 25C in EH17. This is, the applicant is 28 Thomas Investors LLC, and it is at 32 Thomas Avenue in East Hampton, and the amount is $12,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carry.
Resolution 2021-793 is to accept security and undertaking for Urban Renewal Parcel 25B in EH17. Applicant is again 28 Thomas Investors LLC at 30 Thomas Avenue in East Hampton, and the amount is $12,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carry.
Resolution 2021-794 is a repurchase of a house at 18 Stewart's Avenue. The house has been notified, the town has been notified that an owner of the home constructed under the town's affordable housing program wishes to sell their home. And whereas the town has the right of first purchase, and whereas the town is desirous of maintaining the house as part of its affordable housing program, and whereas the Community Housing Opportunity Fund is the appropriate vehicle for this transaction, now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is authorized to repurchase the home currently owned by Michael Boker at 18 Stewart's Lane in East Hampton, according to the formula contained in the lease, at a cost of $370,992 plus closing costs as determined by the town budget.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass and carry.
Resolution 2021-795 is to approve a license renewal for Flyblade for their airport terminal counter space. Blade previously entered into a license agreement with us for counter space, and it has a provision for extending a license agreement from the year 2020. And the town of East Hampton is legally obligated to accommodate aeronautical providers wherever possible under Grant Assurance 22, which requires us to make space available to the public on terms that are reasonable without unjust discrimination, and the license will be renewed for 1 calendar year upon the mutual consent of the parties, subject to an annual CPI increase for the license fee. Town has received a request from Flyblade to extend the lease for 2021. And the supervisor is authorized and directed to approve the request to extend the license for an additional year for the fee of $62,118 and to execute any related documents.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Resolution 2021-796 is Bistrian Farm and McAnsett CPF acquisition and amend the 2021 CPF project plan. This is to schedule a public hearing for the said acquisition, a total of 32.6 acres at a cost of $28 million. That public hearing is scheduled for July 15th, 2021 at 11 a.m. Second. Harold, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Bertram Rose.
Aye.
Councilman Lees.
I'm going to recuse myself as I have a partial share of a property that actually abuts a sliver of these lands.
Councilwoman Overby.
Aye.
Councilman Bratton.
Aye.
Supervisor Van.
Aye, passed and carried. Resolution 797 is status change from part-time to temporary seasonal for Shevkat Wishkalal.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Resolution 798 is budget modification for animal control. That's moving $1,500 from overtime into vehicle repairs and supplies in the same amount.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. 799 is budget modification for equipment purchase, and that is moving $14,664.64 from one budget line and $2,071.96 from another budget line.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Resolution 800 is to amend Resolution 2021-694. The budget account, and it's resolved that Christopher Pintero Bautista and Christopher Flitz are to be paid bi-weekly from the account under the proper submission time records retroactive to June 6th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. 801 is to amend resolution number 2021-523, telephone equipment, software support. This is Meridian IT. And the financial impact of this is annual cost of $565.50, paid out of various fund lines.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. 802 is to amend resolution 2021-769, Hampton Upper LLC. And whereas the town board on June 17th adopted resolution 2021-769, which amended the agreement for services again June 24th, 2021 through September 6th for a total of 75 days, 7 days a week, commencing at 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at a cost not to exceed $100,754. Whereas the fund was taken from appropriated unreserved surplus, resolved that for clarification purposes that any invoices for the program will be paid from A1010 subcontract costs, and that if necessary, funding shall be used from A041775 effective June 17, 2021.
So I was in Montauk yesterday and saw the hopper and people hopping on and off as they should. So again, congratulations to the town. I think
That Montauk was hopping too.
Montauk was hopping. It was a hopping place. So I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Yeah, we're pleased to have that service reinstated post-pandemic. Definitely well used.
Yes.
803 is to authorize license extension East Hampton Food Pantry for a portion of emergency services building. The town does provide a home for East Hampton Food Pantry at the back of the town hall campus, and this is to extend that for an additional year. That agreement will expire in April 27th, 2022, and we want to thank the food pantry and all their wonderful volunteers for all they've done to help get people through the pandemic. This is an ongoing need that's being filled, and we're happy to support them.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Resolution 2021-804 is the payout upon retirement for Daniel Roman. And this will be in the first total amount of
76. 76.
It's on page. So on the next page, now I got it, just a flip page over. Gross total of $76,362.11. Payable to Daniel Roman as final payout.
Second, I'm sorry, we're losing him.
He's retiring. We wish him all the best in retirement. He's done a great job for the people of East Hampton. Go safe.
Yep.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. 805 is payout upon retirement, John B. Claflin. And that is in a gross total amount of $135,260.82. And again, we thank John for his service and dedication to East Hampton residents through the PD department.
I agree. And second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. 806 is approved change order number 2 for East Hampton Police Department parking lot reconstruction. And that is for a total additional cost of $8,231.04.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed and carried. Resolution 807 is authorized payment, Black Gold Industries, and that is to be for a total financial impact of $468.46. This is for Highway Department.
I wondered what black gold was. I think it's our.
It's probably asphalt.
Right. Thank you. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, pass and carried. 808 is to eliminate COVID-19 restrictions on beach parking and driving permits. Resolved that the town board hereby approve the elimination of COVID-19 restriction placed on the number of beach driving and parking permits issued. That's effective today, July 1st, 2021.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, pass and carried. Do we have any other additional resolutions to offer?
No.
Okay, at this point, it's great to be back in person. It's great to see you all here attending these meetings live. And we look forward to continued progress against the pandemic. And a motion to go into executive session.
Oh, I have language. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
I need to enter into an executive session to discuss personal matters in the police department, the planning department, the finance department, the public safety division, ordinance, marine patrol, to receive advice from counsel.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye. Take 5 minutes or so.